Let me change your mind about vampires in books. It is officially fall and spooky season. A little history lesson on vampires in literature and the three books most important in understanding the allegory of vampires in many modern vampire stories. I'm an author of supernatural fiction. This is my book, Junie, a Southern Gothic ghost story set on an Alabama plantation. I'm also a former high school English teacher, and I am a former Twilight teenager. Save this so that you have my vampire book recommendations. If you like these sorts of book recommendations, follow me. I do book recommendations all the time. Tell me in the comments your favorite vampire book. Carmilla by Joseph Sheridan Le Fanu. This is the first vampire book. It starts us off on vampires being linked to desire and longing. You have a young, innocent woman who is assailed by this female vampire. It's very sapphic, temptation and hunger. The vampire is certainly a corrupting influence that often can be consistent of vampire literature. The vampire is often something evil that's coming in and corrupting an otherwise pure person. This one is the most interesting in its portrayal of desire and longing and temptation, particularly considering its time period. This book is from the 1870s. Dracula by Bram Stoker. I personally have pretty conflicting opinions about Dracula, the most probably famous vampire novel. Dracula shifts depiction of the vampires as a much more parasitic force, and does so to a negative effect. Dracula is ultimately meant to be an allegory about immigration. All of the English characters are pure, lovely beings. All these Eastern European Dracula himself, as well as other characters that surround Dracula, who are all these dark, corrupting influences that enter England and cause evil problematic. Because Dracula is so influential on 20th century representations of the vampire, vampires continue to be depicted in a similar way. This foreign evil and this distinct other. It's good to go into it with the grain of salt of what Dracula is about, because I don't think a lot of people are very aware of the actual social commentary that Bram Stoker intended. Interview with the Vampire by Anne Rice. This book comes out in the 1970s, illustrates a return to form of vampires as an allegory for longing, vampires as an othered group, but in a more sympathetic way. Now, I have a mix of feelings about this one, and I love the television show. The book is, to me, not quite as good as the television show, which is wild for me to say. That said, I do see how this is the root of our modern depiction of vampires, whether it's the way that she describes the vampires, the way in which she creates dramatic atmospheric gothic settings, or the passion of the relationships, to me is very evocative of this sort of vampire book